Hey everybody, this is Perch, and this is one of those cases where there's a lot of new comics and news coming out. Of course, it is New York City Comic Con, so a lot of things happening here with new comic announcements, things coming out. So we want to get to all of them to kind of catch you up on what's going on. Over the weekend, there's going to be a continual kind of flood of new comic announcements. Keep in mind, we're heading to 2022. Marvel already canceling and relaunching, I should say, or temporarily suspending and relaunching lots of books. DC is marching to their Crisis event, and of course, they're always launching new limited series and other things going on. So a lot happening. So what all is going on? Well, let's talk about some of the new things that are happening kind of all over the place. So first off, if you remember the 90s, Shadowhawk is returning for a 30th anniversary special. 2022 will be the 30-year anniversary. Jim Valentino is working on a special commemorative book for Shadowhawk's 30th anniversary. That is a special. He's basically admitting he doesn't draw very often, very more. He's kind of out of practice. He says, I still managed to screw it up royally. Jim Valentino is always a overly humble guy, I think, in that regard. But he wants to let us know that this homage is coming. Shadowhawk has not been seen for quite a while. Was one of the Image launch characters along with Spawn and Savage Dragon and Wildcats and Cyberforce and other books. So if you're a fan of that time, having Shadowhawk return is a nice kind of nod to a lot of those original creators and original stories that came out from Image, which is pretty nifty. I think to see that come back. I like that. I like that this is happening again. The next bit of news over in Marvel Land is that you do have Chris Claremont coming back onto the X-Men. We do know from pictures he's posted that there's something Gambit related out there somewhere, but we are also getting Chris Claremont on X-Men Legends, and he will be on X-Men Legends, I believe, number 12. This is in February. And he will be writing a story about his kind of that sheds new light on Excalibur, and that there will be some developments in this story that will kind of reflect to today. Now, the original Excalibur team, obviously Captain Britain, Megan, Nightcrawler, Rachel Summers, and who was Phoenix at the time, and Kitty Pryde Shadowcat. Pure speculation on my part, but one of the things Claremont has said in recent years is that he had kind of intended or always hinted at a Kitty Pryde, Rachel Summers romance, which didn't necessarily completely make sense, because he also wrote stories where Rachel Summers in the future was in a relationship. But I guess if both characters are bisexual, then perhaps that would make some sense. But anyway, this is apparently coming. So we will get Chris Claremont on Legends, and my guess is, again, it will have. So if I'm looking at characters where we're going to have a revelation that ties to today, it feels like that's got to be with Kitty or with Rachel, but we will find out. Again, I may be completely wrong, so please no crazy Perch confirmed videos here. It's complete speculation on my part. The other thing, though, that's happening on X-Men Legends, and we've had all these comics that have been 2-part stories. Now apparently going to 1-part or just one and done issues, is that in X-Men Legends number 11, we are getting another team up of Louise Simonson and Walter Simonson, which is always going to be welcome in my book. And they're going to be, this time, instead of Louise Simonson's time on X Factor, it's going to be tapping into her time on the New Mutants. She was on the New Mutants from issue 55 to 97, between 87 and 91. It was a great run during that time. Louise Simonson is one of those legends in comics that just can never get enough praise and credit for the work that she did. Her comic is going to feature Apocalypse searching for the next Horseman after presumably Death has, Archangel has left, and he decides that the New Mutants are the right place to start looking for, for this next replacement. New Mutants at the time were Cannonball, Danny, Wolfsbane, Rain, Sunspot, Boom Boom, and Richter. And so that's an interesting bit to choose from. Boom Boom being a horseman of the apocalypse, horsewoman of the apocalypse. That, sure, why not? So that's also coming. here relatively quickly. So some X-Men Legends. I do, again, more complete speculation on my part. The fact they're going to one and done issues makes me think that X-Men Legends doesn't have the longest to live. That I think that it feels like that comic is going to wrap itself up here, presumably after Claremont gets done with it. I would be somewhat surprised if the title keeps going too much longer. I think Marvel's a little bit not sure of what to do with that. We have also learned that DC Comics has canceled. So instead of a new comic, this is a canceled. It's a canceled / delayed. So this is an area where there is some expectation that the comic is going to be made at some point, but they're taking it off the books for now. And this is the Batman Catwoman special by Tom King and John Paul Leon. This was meant to release in July. It will be resolicited at some point. Now, obviously, the reason behind this is very, very tragically, John Paul Leon died of cancer back in May of this year. And it was this comic was initially intended to be, I think, right after issue 6. So it was going to be 6 issues of Cat, then this comic, and then the last 6 issues. So John Paul Leon had worked with Tom King on Black Death, and he is the loss of John is extremely tragic. This was an artist I loved, absolutely loved, and the material he did. So it's extremely sad that we're not seeing, that we can't see more work from him. It's sad that he's passed away for obviously his family and kind of the world in general. So there is a tribute panel for John at the New York City Comic Con. There is an expectation that this comic is going to come out, and what's going to happen is that it's going to include contributions from comic creators who were close to him or honored his work. There's also a comic being crowdfunded on Zoop, and I'm hopeful. I believe I'm going to do some interviews with some of the creators there, talking to Tommy Lee Edwards, Bernard Chang, Bill Sienkiewicz, Lee Weeks, and others who are going to be part of that book. And so that's definitely a comic that I would want to support. All things aside, I think John Paul Leon gave a lot to this comic industry, so being able to do something there for him as well would be very pleasant. So, in addition, so other kind of taking, moving off from that, that's a bummer of it's hard to move on from that because this was an absolute legend in comics. Other things coming out, we are announcing, Marvel is announcing some additional Devil's Reign books as part of their big street-level hero Daredevil kind of event that is coming out, which will include the X-Men and others. So that event itself is continuing to grow and balloon to some extent. We are getting a new Dr. Multiverse in DC, which is a brand new character, and she will be debuting in Justice League Incarnate #1. So that's another new character that's going to be part of this bigger event. We also will have in the Aquaman 2 movie, we're getting Jason Momoa will be clothed at least at some point in that blue costume that you might remember from Aquaman back in the 80s when he had his blue camouflage ocean costume. So if you were a fan of that ocean costume, you're getting that soon as well. And then finally, we have this series coming out in January called 10 Lives and 10 Deaths of Wolverine, which is being written by Ben Percy, Joshua Cassara, Federico Vincentini, and this will be, we don't know exactly how many issues. It's been stated a couple places, and now but it's been stated differently in a couple places. So I believe there is a definitive answer here. I could swear the definitive answer was it was going to be 12 issues, but I've seen other places it's now 10 issues. Either way, this is a series that they are billing as being very much tonally like House of X and Powers of 10. The storyline here is it's the ultimate Wolverine story that will tell 2 interlocked tales about what happens to Wolverine when his past meets his future. It is going to feature him basically trying to protect a critical mutant in a key figure in mutant history, which everyone is assuming is Moira. Not exactly sure. That's, a lot of people are speculating Moira because of everything else, but we'll see. But Logan is basically a time travel story. He must travel to various points in time to prevent the death of this character. And in every life, there is also a death. So fan favorite eras are explored, never before seen periods in Wolverine's life that will kind of walk through the different fan favorite areas, eras of Wolverine's career. So who doesn't need more with Wolverine? Don't know. Anyway, the hardcover of this is coming out in May, which is going to be pushed out pretty quickly. It is a weekly series, so this will run through January and February at Marvel, and just how long depends, pretty much on how long the series is. But there you go. Couple new comics, couple new series coming out. Expected to be lots more announcements at New York City Comic Con. If you're there, having a great time, have a beer on me. Wish I was there with you. And yeah, questions? What are you buying? Thanks for listening.